President Donald Trump's national security advisor, Michael Flynn, has resigned. Less than 1 month into the Trump administration, the top national security official inside the White House has been forced to leave that post because of allegations he may have violated federal law in conversations during the Trump transition with the Russian ambassador to the United Nations. In his resignation letter that was given to the president Monday evening at the White House, Flynn said, and I quote, "I inadvertently briefed the Vice President-elect and others with incomplete information regarding my phone calls with the Russian ambassador. I sincerely apologize to the President and Vice President, and they have accepted my apology." They may have accepted the apology, but they did not accept it as conduct that was fitting for a national security advisor or one who could retain the President and the Vice President's confidence. And for that reason and many others, Flynn was forced to resign. It was clear Monday, midday, that the President was unwilling to offer Flynn a public endorsement, and when given the opportunity about 7 o'clock Eastern by reporters, the President also declined to give Flynn anything approaching his confidence. That continued a pattern set forward over the weekend when top White House advisors, also given the opportunity to explain whether or not Flynn had the President's confidence and would remain National Security Advisor, refused to do so. Only one White House advisor, Kellyanne Conway, a counselor of the President, offered such assurances, but those were clearly inconsistent with the President's wishes and quite probably the wishes of Vice President Pence. This all involves a conversation that Flynn had during the transition with the Russian ambassador to the United States, in which he discussed Obama administration sanctions recently levied against Russia, and when asked about that, said he did not discuss that topic. Vice President Pence then went on several talk shows, among them Face the Nation, in mid-January before the inauguration, to say it was his understanding that Flynn did not have those kinds of specific sanctions-oriented conversations with the Russian ambassador to the United States. But transcripts obtained by the U.S. intelligence community and then given to the White House verified that Flynn had indeed those kinds of conversations and specifically discussed sanctions with the Russian ambassador, and his deception, which he now claims was inadvertent, with the Vice President and others in the senior White House staff, left his position untenable. President Trump named, swiftly after receiving Flynn's resignation letter, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg as the acting National Security Advisor. Kellogg was a part of the Trump transition and became well known to the President-elect during that time. Others are also being considered for the position, but for now, Keith Kellogg will serve as the acting National Security Advisor, all this coming just a day before one of the top American allies, Israel, in the person of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, comes to Washington for his first face-to-face encounter with President Trump. There had been some in the White House who thought the gathering of high-level, high-profile foreign dignitary visits this week, Monday, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was at the White House and appeared with the President at a press conference, and then Benjamin Netanyahu's appearance might spare Flynn. But Flynn was not spared, and efforts within the White House that began over the weekend and continued and intensified on Monday to see his ouster ultimately succeeded. Major Garrett in Washington for CBS News.